All right.
But that worked pretty quickly this time. Oh, we've already got 2 people watching. Dang.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, guys. This is episode 3 of the Bite Size Podcast. I know we are a little bit late today, by about an hour. But that's because today's a little different.
Zachary's grandmother, unfortunately, passed away yesterday. So Zachary kind of had a rough night. Couldn't sleep too well. So he went ahead and just slept in. I didn't mind, of course, once he finally told me what was going on. But
too busy sleeping.
Yeah, he slept in. So that's why we're a little late today, guys. Going on that, today is not going to be like the normal podcast because today we are gonna, I guess, tribute this one to your grandmother.
Yeah.
And we're just going to tell stories about his grandmother and times we had with her because me and Zach's family are really close. So she's sort of like my second grandmother. So I feel just as strongly about her as Zachary does. Well, maybe not because it's his blood, but
still, a lot of people really cared about her, and that's going to be something that we're going to tribute today's episode to a little bit. But at the same time, we don't really want to focus on death and sadness and stuff. Yeah. We're gonna talk about some of the good times that we had, tell some of the stories from her life, and
celebrate her life and not mourn her death.
Exactly. And maybe you guys will be sad about my grandma dying after hearing these stories too, because she was
a character for sure.
Oh yeah, she was a great lady.
A funny lady as well.
Oh yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoy. First though, we are going to do some announcements. The Bite Size Podcast is going from about an hour every other Thursday to 30 minutes every other Thursday. If you subscribe on the Patreon channel, you can get extra content before and after, and the audio only version will be up on all podcast sites real soon here.
All right.
And
we also...
Did you want to tell them about our news?
I thought we'd maybe end it with that. With shout-outs and whatnot.
Okay.
And then... Yeah, we'll just end it with that.
Alright. So... the first story I want to tell is one of the most common stories people tell about my grandma. And it's called 852.
Hashtag 852.
Hashtag 852 on Instagram. Maybe we can get it trending. But we were at the hospital for her father's passing, which was sad, but it's a funny story. She was going outside to smoke, and they lock the doors at 9 o'clock at that hospital. And if you go out past then, you're just locked out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'm going to smoke. And my Aunt Judy was like, it's 8:52. And my grandma thought she said, it sucks to be you. And it's like, cause she's going out to smoke and she's going to get herself locked out.
Yeah, either way it works.
Like outside the hospital, yeah. So my grandma, she goes, fuck you. And Aunt Judy's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I said, it's 8:52. Don't get yourself locked out. And she's like, oh, I thought you said it sucks to be you.
That's funny. I've heard this story before, but to be honest, I forgot it, and I've been waiting until now to hear it again because I knew in the back of my head that this was a funny story, and it was. It's just as good the second time around.
Yeah, it's like a family joke now. Everyone always goes, it's 8:52. If something happens, or sometimes you like ask them for help and they don't want to help you, they'll be like...
And it just makes it funnier because, like, I know your grandma passed just that story, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So I could see her turning around, like, I could see her and Aunt Judy talking, like, I don't know.
Right. And then the whole family was there because we were all staying in the hospital, and everyone just died laughing.
Yeah. It just shows that, you know, you can still have a good time no matter what. Like, no
Right.
matter what the circumstances are in your life, you can always just. Something will make you smile.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So no matter how rough it is, just hang in there, and something will get you up. You know.
Let me pull the volume up a little bit on the audio version. Hopefully you guys don't hear the difference, but hopefully it makes the recording a little bit better.
Yeah. And if you guys could let us know on YouTube if you can hear us quite well enough, that would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
Other than that, we should move on.
The second story is actually one that
I
you
was
were
involved
there
in.
for.
Yeah. That was.
It happened. Both of us were in a little musical called Les Miserables. And
As we've stated before in the first podcast.
Yeah.
It's where we got to know each other really well.
And he came to Bob Evans, and my grandma came too. We were all going to eat before a performance. And then
we didn't finish all of our food, like always.
Well, also, that same day, I think one of our sandwiches got a flag in it, and we were like, this M.I. Well, if we still shouldn't say people's names,
Yeah.
then you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was the character in Les Mis where he waves his flag, and we were doing that with the,
With just a little
the toothpick with the
sandwich
flag on
garnish.
it. Yeah. And it was a good time. My
Yeah.
grandma was there. We were all just having fun, and she was a really
All your
easygoing,
immediate family
fun-loving
was
character. Yeah,
both your grandmas were there.
they know how to have fun.
Yeah.
So we didn't finish all of our food, like you were saying.
We didn't finish all of our food, so me and Grandma both got boxes. We were on our way out, and I asked your grandmother, I say, "Hey, Grandma, did you grab your box?" And what does she say to me, Zach?
She goes, "I've always got my box," and me and him were both like
Confused as to like where she was going with
What
this.
do you mean you always have your box?
Like, are you always eating out and not finishing your food?
Is that like something you do every day or something?
And she goes, "No, you know,
My
box."
What? It's like, oh, did you just say that to my best friend? I know, like, whoa.
Yeah. That was an interesting time in my life, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
I never, like, your grandmother never been like that at all. Up to that point, like, she was kind of just getting to know me. And when she told that joke, I was like, no, not her. Like, she can't be the one telling this joke.
It was great.
But after that, it was all uphill. Like, me and your grandma clicked. Like, she talked to me, I talked to her. It was awesome. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and the third story is about there was a kickback show, which
Kickbacks being Zach's brother's band.
Oh yeah. They were playing at the lake house where my grandma lives.
Okay.
And she was over there, and she got pretty drunk. And I was up on the balcony at my aunt and uncle's house.
May I just say, drunk grandma stories are always my favorite.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Anytime
Drunk
somebody's
grandmas.
like, "Hey, this one time my grandma was drunk," I'm like, "Okay, keep going." I don't know this story. I don't think. So
Maybe
this is
not.
new to me as well.
Maybe not. She came up on the balcony with me where I was watching them, and she goes, "Are you having a good time?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "If you're having a good time, you gotta say woo woo,
Woo woo.
I was like, "Okay, woo woo." Like, thanks, I'm having a good time. And now whenever I have a good time, and like my family are around, I go woo, and they're like, "Oh man."
Now every time you do it, they'll remember her.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully.
And I mean the lake in general. This one time, I got drunk with my cousins, and I threw up my hot dog. I'd eaten a hot dog earlier in the day, and then I threw up my hot dog, and now that's like a thing we always say to each other, like, I threw up my hot dog.
And your family's got way too many inside jokes. I can never, like,
yeah.
Like, they'll say something and everybody will laugh, and I'll just be like, ha!
There are a lot of inside jokes, but
I'm catching on slowly. One inside joke at a time. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, Trevor just told me to check my email, so he sent me that album. You guys will... That's the news at the end of the show I'll tell you about. I just got a text from my brother-in-law.
Did you want to get into that a little bit now?
Sure. So...
Did you want to talk about my grandma some more?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm always down to talk about your grandma. Your grandma was a wonderful lady, so...
Yeah. I mean...
You can definitely do that. Yeah, I'll definitely just end the show with the news we have.
Well...
Because it's shout-outs and everything like that,
I mean...
so...
Yeah. But...
You got any other great stories about your grandma?
She always used to watch Cops.
Cops.
We would stay the night at her house, and as we'd be trying to sleep, sometimes we would watch, like, Hercules cartoons, and other times it'd be like, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come
it's
for
like,
you?
Either it's Disney princesses, or you're watching these guys get tased.
Exactly. So we would do that most of the time. Later in her life, she watched a lot of, like, westerns and stuff, and she's an awesome lady. And it's cool because my family's so close. She got to know and move so many lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody cares about her, including, like, people who are further out who normally might not know about somebody like that in families that aren't close-knit.
Yeah.
Then, you know, it's cool that I've got one where everybody's so
tight. Like, no... There's
right.
no...
We
There's
took
never
a picture
any...
at the lake house where there's so many people there that
me and Zach's little brother had to go upstairs because there was no more room.
And the picture
in the frame.
showed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like the lake. So...
It's got its own name. Like, Kirk's Corner is a thing people know of. Like, even outside of your family, people know of Kirk's Corner right there at the lake.
Kirk's Country.
Kirk's Country, my bad.
Yeah.
Kirk's Corner is the bar. Was the bar. Is the bar? I forget.
Was. But
was.
I don't want to get too much into that. But, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people love my grandma. And it's a very recent thing. It just happened yesterday, and it sucks that it happened for sure. But I think death is kind of something that's inevitable, and you don't want it to happen. You'll do everything you can to put it off, but when it does, there's nothing you can do but grieve and find a way to keep going. Yeah. I feel like it's almost like the zombie apocalypse, which may be a weird analogy, but, you know, you're just fighting for survival. I feel like sometimes when you have to grieve in such a way and you lose somebody so special, you're just fighting to survive for a little bit, and then you're like, all right, we can move on.
We can do this.
Yeah. So...
You'll get to that point where you're eventually like, well, I've made it this far, so obviously I can make it further.
Right.
And your grandma was a wonderful woman who will always be remembered by a lot of people. I feel like even generations of your family to come who haven't even met your grandmother are going to know about your grandmother. Especially because
there's kids that are really little who are getting to know her, and there's also so many adults, and then their inside stories. You know, there's people who I've barely met who I know a ton about because there's so many inside jokes and stuff, and I'll just be talking to people.
Right, it's like one of those people like everybody talks about, so when you meet them, you feel like you already know. Like you're not meeting them, you're just seeing them again. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
And
your grandmother was definitely one of those people for me too, because you guys always talked about your grandma.
Yeah.
Before I met her, and then when I met her, I was like, man, like, she's exactly what I imagined. Like, I don't know.
And there was like people at the lake, even when you came a couple days ago, that I said I didn't really know.
Yeah.
And it's got such an environment. We left knowing them.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone was like, "Nice to meet you," and like.
Yeah, like by the end,
Even hugs and stuff.
We were
like,
family. Like by the end
yeah.
of the day, we had just met those people that morning or that afternoon, and by the time we left at 11, we were all good friends. Like,
right,
and
all it's
knew
cool.
Each other.
So when my grandma hangs out, there's so many people whose lives she touches.
Yeah, definitely. And with how many people circulate through the lake house, like your grandma is known in a lot of places.
Yeah.
By a lot of people.
She'll be missed, bro.
Definitely.
But yeah. I don't know. Should we end this one early?
Yeah, I definitely thought it would be a little longer. I think maybe we should end it on a good note where it's at. Your grandma will be missed by a lot of people. She was a wonderful woman. Kind of sucks. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw her. And the next time I'm going to see her is Sunday.
I mean, you saw her at the graduation.
4 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm sure I've seen her since then.
You never saw her at the lake or anything?
I'm sure I've seen her since then, but I can't remember the last time, you know what I mean? Like, I know I've seen her since then.
Yeah.
I just wish I would have known that it was the last time I was going to see her, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, me too, man. I definitely know how.
Back on a good note, she was a wonderful woman. I will miss her dearly. Should we tell the news? Should I tell the news?
Yeah, I think we can touch on that. We've been doing audio for about 20 minutes, so if you have any comments, now is the time to let us know. We can definitely keep going for a little bit. Listen to the audio for a little bit before and after we go live, though. So.
Yeah, definitely. Did you touch on the Patreon after the YouTube video?
I don't know. If you go to the Patreon page, you can listen to the stuff before and after.
Just a few more minutes, but it's usually good stuff.
Yeah.
So, definitely worth it. The news I got this morning. So, I was on Facebook, and I was inviting people to like the Facebook page, the Bite Size Podcast Facebook page.
Yeah, we created a Facebook page, and the audio's almost live on all of the platforms: iTunes, Google Play Music,
Spotify.
Spotify. It's already on YouTube, but there's a few minutes that aren't, obviously.
Yeah, the podcast does have a little bit more, so if you do want to listen to more of our conversation before and after, definitely check out the podcast.
But leave us
and
a
if
review.
You want to listen to even more than that, check out the Patreon.
Oh, yeah. And leave a review if you listen to that. Let us know what you think, how we can improve, talk about more things you want to talk about, or, of course, comment live on YouTube, and we can talk about that, too. We want to end every episode.
It doesn't even have to be comment live. If you see the video after we were live, still leave us a comment.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, Zach's got notifications on his phone. It's his channel, so he'll definitely get it and check it out.
Another thing that I was planning on talking about before we decided to change the topic of this episode to honoring my grandmother was that I'm going to be moving back my everyday video schedule for 2 weeks because I need to get a new phone. We're currently doing this live on YouTube on James's phone, so thanks for doing that. I forgot my tripod, so we have it set up on like a tub of candy, and there's a jar of jelly that's holding it up.
I will show you the setup. Can I switch the camera while we're live?
You should be able to.
This is the setup we've got. Our microphone is currently being held up by a pair of Vans skate highs in all black. Camera is being my phone. The camera is being held up by this jar of candy and this jar of jelly. This tripod is on the table still for no reason whatsoever. And that's about it.
And that is Audacity recording the audio.
Yeah, that's what's
Have
going
to
on.
edit that a little bit, throw in a gate, and then that audio will be live too.
Definitely.
We're excited to get some of this audio going as well as the YouTube stuff, and when it's all synchronized. Did we want to talk about all the news?
What do you mean all the news?
About your brother-in-law?
Yeah, I'm definitely down. So like I was saying this morning, Facebook page, I was inviting friends and whatnot to like the page, right? So I invited my brother-in-law, my big sister Ashley's husband, Trevor.
All right.
Trevor basically was like, hell yeah, dude, I love that you're doing a podcast. Trevor runs like a promotion agency. He runs his own music label basically, and he's got this artist that he's trying to promote, right? So he tells me, if we promote this guy on our podcast, that he will help us as much as he can to help promote us. So he sent me, that's what I was getting a text about. He texted me, he said he sent me an email with an album by this guy, and he said we can use it for whatever we want. So if you check out the podcast, the intro music will be by this artist that we're going to be promoting.
Should we say his name now?
Yeah, check him out, guys. He's on YouTube at Killjoy Official. Killjoy, one word, spelt with a Y instead of an I in kill. And that's also his Instagram handle. So
KYLLJOY.
Yeah, KYLLJOY, one word.
He does like EDM music.
Yeah, Killjoy Official. He does house music, EDM, so festival music. He's a DJ. He's really good. I did check out some of his stuff on YouTube. So go ahead and like his page, guys. Check him out on YouTube. Listen to his music. If you like it, definitely like his YouTube channel. Subscribe. So.
Yeah, he's. What I heard is good.
Yeah, definitely. So we.
Let us know in the
We've got
comments.
permission from Trevor, who is this guy.
Maybe we should just say, let us know down in the comments if you like them. Go check them out and let us know what you think down in the comments. Is this a good fit for us, or is this not?
I mean, we like all sorts of music.
Yeah, what do you guys think about them?
Yeah, just let us know what you think about him. If you do like him, definitely follow him on Instagram, the whole nine. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm sure he has a Twitter, Facebook, of course. Just go ahead and check him out, guys. Let us know what you think about him. We'll definitely pass it on. Let him know.
Oh, yeah.
And if you like him, we'll definitely try to do more stuff with him.
Yeah, we can interview them. We can have them play.
It's just one guy.
It's just one guy?
Yeah.
We can have him be on the show interviewed and...
definitely. We can Skype call interview him. Even.
Yeah.
Like,
it'll be... We could do some cool stuff if you
like
guys like them.
When I talked to Trevor earlier, he had called him and he was in New York. So he's traveling, obviously, because they're from Tampa.
Okay.
So... and he told me Killjoy is actually a frat kid from Penn State, so he lives in Pennsylvania. He's in New York right now. Like, he definitely does some traveling, so we'll definitely have to try to set something up. If you guys enjoy him, let us know, so we can do that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that's about it for today. We actually are close to 30 minutes, so...
Yeah, we got 24 minutes on the YouTube stream, 27 minutes on the audio. So, just so you know, from now on, when we are in more of a normal bite-sized podcast schedule, it'll be at 2 again.
At 2, we decided we're going to go 30 minutes. Each of us, during the week to 2 weeks in between each show, are going to come up with 5 topics we will not let the other person know about until the podcast. And then we'll bring them up to each other.
About it, it can be the first time we talk about it in front of you guys.
And it'll be a whole hell of a lot better of a conversation. Because trust me, we've tried talking about it before and then doing it on the podcast. And the conversation the first time is definitely better than repeating ourselves on the podcast.
Right. We kind of paraphrase and it's not as original because we're trying to remember what we said last time instead of just speaking from the heart about it, you know?
Exactly. So this way there will be a little more structure to it.
Yeah.
And it'll hopefully be better content for everybody.
We hopefully will never get through all 10 topics in 30 minutes. We might, depending on how much we can talk about stuff.
Yeah.
But, again, if we go over, we go over. There'll be more in the audio version and on Patreon. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and all that other stuff on YouTube right now.
I will be making an Instagram for the podcast this week.
All right, we got a Facebook for the podcast. We got an Instagram for the podcast later this week. You can follow James on Instagram.
I definitely post a lot of stuff about the podcast as well. At Garrett James 720, no spaces, no nothing, just Garrett James 720, Garrett. Because most people don't know how to spell Garrett the right way.
What about
it's
720?
Usually just Garret. Oh, 720 is 720.
No, I mean, like, what made you pick that?
I have no idea.
You just picked a random number?
Yeah. To be honest.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Well, we're going to end the podcast here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a great day and appreciate everyone in your life because you never know when something crazy is going to happen. And I know I didn't necessarily see this coming. So
no one did.
It sucks. But she was a great person, and we're going to love the life that she did have.
Definitely.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a nice one. X.